So this week I want to talk about how there's a pretty strong possibility that the Ableton Push might be my favorite standalone music making device right now. I had a feeling this could happen. It's the device I was the most excited about upon announcement, probably since the Machine Plus, and I think it's actually fulfilled a lot of what I wanted it to do in a way that the Plus did not do immediately out of the gate. That's not to say this device is perfect. I have plenty of videos talking about the cons. I have a video where Pink Buddha and I sat down and talked about this versus the Kai Force. But today I just want to talk about the things that have really been kind of blowing my mind and what I've been doing with it recently. So over the last few days, I made this little beat that I'm pretty stoked about. And what I want to do is kind of walk you through what it's made up, like how I created it, and then I'll play the beat for you at the end. So stay tuned for that. I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who's liked and subscribed to my videos. It means a whole lot. I know we're getting close to that 10,000 subscriber mark, which I really can't believe. I've been doing weekly videos since 2019, and it's just really cool to see that. So thank you so much. And thank you to my Patreon patrons who go above and beyond to support the channel, currently at $1 or $3 a month. It's just a little bit of help that I really appreciate as I keep making these videos. And so without further ado, let's kind of talk about what's going on in this track here, or in this project. So the first thing I did was actually make this analog patch from scratch, and then I didn't use it. But it's really pretty, but it just does not fit the rest of the song. So the next thing I did was I used a splice sample. This is an Igloo. Let's see if I can see the whole file name. I don't know if I can, but right now it's reversed. So let's unreverse it. All right. And then I did a bunch of stuff to this. So I warped it using the Pro algorithm so that it stays to the BPM. I messed with the actual like key of the sample when I was performing. So you can hear that there. And let me just solo that really quick. Added a little bit of spread, LFO pans. Added the MS2 circuitry for the filter, put the drive up a little bit, and put the LFO on the filter. Complex warp, like I said. No slicing here. But I've talked about this before. I really don't like to just drop a melodic loop into a song without doing a lot of stuff to it. So we also, like I said, added a chorus to this and the echo effect. You can hear that all kind of going on there. Next thing I did was I built a drum rack. This was really clunky. Tatro has a really good video about the Push 3. It's sponsored, but it's really in-depth, and he talks about kind of some of the frustrations about building drum kits. And they are pretty annoying to try to build, because every time you select a new pad and you want to load something, well, that's going to actually try to load. Let's see. Oh, man. See, the process of actually adding things to your drum kit is actually pretty annoying. So if I go here, now I'm in this top level drum hits folder. But if I want to go to like user library, samples, I've dropped a few different splice sample packs in here, including the decap drums that knock, volume 9, which is where a lot of these are from. And getting a drum hit into one of these pads is pretty annoying. Get a rim shot here, turn preview on. All right. So that works. But if we go here, you're back at that top level. Now, something you can do is duplicate the pad. And now we're looking at the same folder. But if I hit just load, it loads it like a instrument, like a simpler device, instead of loading it to the pad, which is so frustrating. So we hit undo. We go back. Whoops. All right. Click into the simpler again, then click that, and now we can load to the new pad. Otherwise, we're going back to top level when we select a new slot to load into. So that's pretty annoying, but Even though I found that to be an annoyance, I did like the process of building out this very simple drum kit. There's nothing on the drum rack effects wise. These are all just basic samples, and I'm almost positive that they're all decap from that same pack. And this is what that beat sounds like. Can I not solo both? Oh well. Next thing I did was I built an operator patch from scratch. This is a bass patch, and I actually used the Native Instruments Complete Control S61 Mark II when I was doing all this composition. It's still on. It's on under here. I'm going to turn that off. That's funny. And so a lot of the notes are played in on the Mark II here, and I was using it while I was designing sound as well. And they did send that over, so full disclosure there, Native Instruments did give me that keyboard for free. But I have not done a ton of operator sound design. I've used OpX4 on the MPC a little bit, but I wanted to get more into sound design on here, and I will admit that I was kind of fumbling my way through this. But I'm still pretty happy with how this came out. So every operator has its, or every oscillator within the operator device has its own envelope here. I've got the filter, another MS2 circuit. I just like the kind of dirtier filter circuitry. Filter envelope here, filter other, LFO. We can see the LFO targets, targeting the filter, doing a bunch of stuff. And again, I'm just kind of like stumbling in the dark here. I want to watch more tutorials on how to build stuff, but it's also kind of fun to just like choose random waves and choose different course levels and choose different algorithms and just see what happens. So I designed that bass sound, and I thought that was cool, but I also felt like it was a little empty with just that bass sound. It wasn't taking up enough space, so then I recorded this little vocal loop. And that was just audio from this microphone you can't see, but it's the Shure Beta 58A plugged directly into the push via a XLR to 1/4 inch cable. And then what I did is I converted that. I just hit convert into a simpler instrument. I'm not going to do it again because we've already done it. So cancel. But that created this instrument. So what I did here is I do have it warping. It's using the Pro Warp algorithm again. We have some glide going on with a single voice, so it's almost like an 808 glide, but it's still using the same basic sample here. There's another MS2 filter with a little bit of resonance on there. And the LFO is not doing too much here, but I added an EQ8. And actually, no, maybe it is the LFO that is, I think, being affected by the filter. Oh, it's not. Okay. Either way, I created this bass to kind of go hand in hand with the other bass. So if let's see, we'll just turn the other tracks off and turn off solo. Oh, sorry, wrong one. These are the two basses working together. Pretty cool, I think. It was really fun to kind of build that out. And then additionally, I recorded another vocal chop thing. Solo this. This is just a single vocal sample that I converted into a simpler, added delay, hybrid reverb, and auto pan. And we can hear how this sounds if I turn off solo. And yeah, we'll also add this. And the next thing I did was I recorded just a straight up audio loop. When To get enough gain out of the mic, because it's just the dynamic mic plugged directly in, I essentially added a compressor here with these settings you can see, and then I added an EQ to take a bunch of the low end out. And I love that the EQ shows you the audio frequencies of the recording. And then you can probably hear that echo that's on there as well. So that was fun on its own, but then I had this idea later in the track to chop that same sample up and create this. We're not soloing the right track here. Here we go. This adds an auto filter, a beat repeat, to the original settings. And it sounds really weird by itself. Well, you'll hear it later. I think it sounds kind of cool in the overall mix. Lastly, I recorded this vocal. Let me solo here. I'm trying to believe it's something good. I'm not going to play the whole thing for you yet, but if we go back to the device, this is another compressor on here. I think I actually duplicated a lot of the settings and then just changed them a little bit, if at all. Yeah, I think I turned down the echo amount. That's correct. On that main vocal. And so, yeah, that's how I built up this whole thing. And it was a really cool process. I actually feel like I want to keep working on this track because it's pretty interesting and it may end up on the album I'm working on. I'm kind of deep into that process. I'm really excited about it. I'm still not sure if that'll be done by this year or next year. But if you want to hear some music I've made, I have an album called There's Something Better on all the streaming services and Bandcamp. If you sign up for my Patreon, you get that for free as well. But thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in hearing this beat, I'm going to play it for you right now. And if you want to dip out, I totally appreciate you sticking around and watching this video. Yeah, there's just so much you can do with this. And there are plenty of devices on the market that do similar things, but there's something about the quality of Ableton's instruments and effects that really do feel like it pushes it over the edge, but you really do pay a premium for that. And that's worth noting. Like, this is a $2,000 device without Ableton Suite, and that's criminal, man. It should include Ableton Suite, for sure. But I already had Suite, so it is what it is for me. All right. Unsolo, Han Solo. Let's play this beat. Thanks again for watching. Have a great week ahead. I'll see you next week. All right. Peace.